I've always made the comment that once a miller, always a miller.
Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! Good Evans, he's done it again. Another promotion for the big man.
I've got 12 bottles of champagne in my office and we're going to drink them all night.
Do me a favour, drop me off in Rotherham.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Rotherham United podcast, and it is a good one. A win. A late win to break a horrible record. So we'll be a happy show tonight, mostly. We'll talk about the 3-2 win away at Bristol Rovers yesterday, and we've got another game Tuesday evening. Hopefully another win. I mean, has to back it up with something, which we'll preview against Leighton Orient a little bit later on as well. First of all, Mick, how are we doing?
I'm all right, mate. Thank you very much. A bit devastated that we won yesterday, obviously, but apart from that, no, all good.
Yeah, fair enough. And Kev, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, I'm unlike Mick. I'm happy about the win yesterday.
Absolutely. Loads of people with us. Dominic Coward says, "Good evening. This could be an entertaining tonight to win on Tuesday. Good evening. This could be entertaining. Need to win Tuesday.
We need to win on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Come on, Matt.
What the hell? Give me a minute. Just take me a sec." YouTube users as is Martin Holland, Stevie Mick, Paula Rose says, "Worth a 13-hour round trip finally to see an away win." John Hensby says, "Hello everybody, what a wonderful feeling to win away on Saturday. I had the last time we achieved that." Harry says, "Really happy for the fans, but papers over the cracks and keeps Evans in a job for a little bit longer." Steve Gunn is with us, as is Mark Gambles. Chris Nichols is from West Australia. And
a little woman came from West Australia, 13-hour round trip for a game of football.
Yeah. So Kev, yeah. Well, 3 years. You put the post up the other day. 3 years, whatever it is. So similar to Nombe's goal that broke the overall record back in October.
Yeah.
But a massive monkey off us back. I can't think of any bad records we've got left to kind of break at the minute. So there's no monkeys hanging over us over the last year. There's no real hangovers anymore. It's massive to get off us back, I think.
Yeah, of course it is, and it must have been playing on. They all knew. Obviously, the players know about it. Steve Evans knows it, but everyone knows about it. So, to like you said, to break that hoodoo finally and get it off his back, it's like there's nothing else left now, is it? They can almost. I'm not sure it'll have an effect on the rest of the games left, but it's got to be a massive weight lifted. They must be thinking, I say it, like next away game. They won away last time, so
yeah, exactly. And we've said this after the Cambridge win, Mick. I think Kev's right. They will know about it, but they'll try to put it back in his mind. But whenever we think that we're thinking about, if we'd lost and then we're thinking about Wrexham next week, we'd all be talking about this 3-year wait again. We don't have to talk about it. We don't have to worry about it as fans anymore. It's not in the back of our heads anymore when we're standing in the stands or wherever you're watching it. It's a massive lift and a boost, and hopefully they can kind of harness that in the games ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, it is. I'm determined I'm going to be positive. You're right. It is. It's a huge lift. It's a huge weight lifted off our shoulders. And hopefully that will help us to kick on now and put in some decent performances and maybe even push that top half. It's a great day Saturday.
God,
famous victory, weren't it? What's it?
Famous victory. A famous victory. Come on, let's be positive.
I'm trying. You're making it really hard work.
More for the fans who actually went. Hats off to 352, 400 fans. I mean, 3 years, 3 years we're at Saturday 3 p.m. victory. So hats off to all them hundreds of fans who went down and made that journey. But bigger people than me, because I wouldn't have upped on blinds if they're playing me front garden, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I completely agree. Absolute legends. Every single one of those fans that went down yesterday, absolute legends, a lot of you. Harry says, back-to-back away wins. When was the last time that one happened? That is going to take some research, that one, Harry. I will look up that after the show. You had to think of something negative, Harry, didn't you? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Probably when Millerman first got released in 1881.
Yeah, absolutely. Noel Jordan says the winless away day starts again next week. Oh, we're nice and positive today, aren't we? Come on, guys. But Nick says it showed great character from the lads, but I have to say the defending for both goals we conceded. We'll come on to it. It's one of those good episodes where there's loads to talk about for yesterday. Loads of obviously 5 goals, few bits for instance, and different ones. So we'll come on to all that in just a second. But Kev, as you just mentioned there, Millerman. Let's tell everybody first about the Millerman, because we have a bit of an update next couple of months. We should be.
Yeah, it's gone to press now, so we've finalised the artwork. So it'll do art and drawing. Dom, I think we both helped with the artwork for it. So really cool front cover and back cover and inserts. It's all been signed off on the actual. I've heard it. Obviously, I can't wait for everyone to hear it, because it makes your hairs on your neck stand up on it. It's so good. So it's gone to press. They reckon a couple of months to get them all printed. So we're going to do it proper. We're going to have a proper launch. So we'll announce it in the coming days. But it's probably going to be maybe at Chantry Brewery or something like that. Proper launch. Macca will be singing. Everyone who's got a copy, come and get it signed. We'll have another party, really.
Sounds very, very good. Yeah, looking forward to that. Talking of parties, you've also got the Woody's testimonial show. That's coming up short of that, isn't it?
Yeah, April 6th, so only about 5 weeks away. Ticket sales are great. I think it's well over 100 now. It's the afternoon and night. Just want to remind everyone, the afternoon tickets does get you into the evening for free, so it's worth doing. It starts at £65, but you get sit-down meal, afternoon entertainment, including all the legends, all the ex-players being there. You can literally sit and share a roast beef dinner with Victor Johansson. What more do you want? Literally. And then obviously the evening do, it's going to be a This Is Your Lifestyle. We've been going through all the questions. Rob Staten's presenting it. We're going to get everyone back from Woody's childhood, from being brought up in Ossett in 1985. It was he was born in Ossett, all the way up to his current playing career and what he's going to do after, I suppose. So it's going to be a great night and day.
Yeah. Absolutely. And just what people just contact you for that one, or is there an email for that one?
Contact me, or there's rwoodevents@yahoo.com, the email. It's all on the Twitter page. But yeah, contact us, send an email, reserve your tickets, because it is going to be some of the names coming back. We've only released so many, but they're all coming back. Dan Barlass and Matt Crooks, or Benny, Wiles, Ward, Victor Johansson. It's unreal. They're all supporting him.
Sounds like a great night. Get on board, everybody. Get on board for that. Harry says we can't have a New York tour show without a bit of negativity. Fair. Phil Hulley online races. We can't have a New York talk show without chocolate talk. We can't. Kev, are you aware of the chocolate orange cream eggs that are around?
If anyone's noticed, I always eat grapes every show. Yeah. I like to go for fun every show, but not chocolate. No. What's this chocolate thing?
I'll let Mick tell you, because it's changed Mick's life, these chocolate orange cream eggs. Mick, just tell it. Everyone that's not aware.
It's just a cream egg, but it's a Terry's chocolate orange cream egg. And it's
just cream inside it?
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's a game changer. Tell you now.
How big is it? How big is it?
One left.
It's tiny.
I know, it's a cream egg, mate. It's awesome.
So is it hollow?
No, it's got orange cream in it.
Yeah, I need to try it, but
mate, I tell you now, you'll never go back. It's
tiny though, isn't it? It's like they're getting smaller. They're getting smaller and smaller.
They are. Yeah, they are.
It's got really big hands.
All right. All right, bragger.
Right, let's go back to yesterday, Mick, because at about 3:10, it was feeling a very, very familiar story. Sean McWilliams played it right back, and it felt a bit off the starting lineup. George Harris came back in, which we'll talk about, and then just complete static defending. It's a good pass inside, I suppose, from the Bristol Rovers player, but it just felt static and poor. Defence should have done better. Maybe Phillips maybe should have done better. It felt like it was going to be the same old story in that first 10-15 minutes, didn't it?
Yeah, and it wasn't the first time. It wasn't the last time during the game that happened where we just did not track a runner through the defence, either the defenders or the holding midfielder in Cam Humphreys. It was really, really poor defending. Like you said, a well-worked goal. All right, but it's a 1-2 edge of box, and you've got to go with a runner. It's just schoolboy stuff, isn't it? And we didn't, and yet Phillips could have done better. He didn't make himself very big. It went underneath him, I think. Oh, excuse me, underneath his leg. It was just poor all round. And like you said, five minutes in or whatever it was, 10 minutes in, you're just thinking, here we go again, you know? And even subsequent to that, for the next, I don't know, however long in that half, we were just not at the races at all. Again, a first half where we're not performing at all. You know, we were constantly going long after that as well. And but as far as the goal was concerned, I mean, he took it well, don't get me wrong, you know, from a tight angle. But from that angle, the goalkeeper's got to do better. But the goalkeeper shouldn't have to be in that position because one of the defenders, at least one of the defenders, should have gone with him. But it was poor all around that and quite deflating. And at that point, with 3 points above the relegation zone, you know, then there you are staring a relegation battle straight between eyes with 5 minutes gone. Obviously, there's 85, 90 minutes left, but at that point, you know, and given the way that we've been playing, you just felt, or I felt, that they weren't going to be a way back. That's how it felt.
Yeah, I completely agree. You just said, "Don't come. We don't close them down. Let them get crosses in." Nick says 4 players watched him run without one of them even trying to make a challenge.
Yeah,
and Nick says, "Keep can't be getting beat there." And I know we will come on. I know we did win the game, Kevin. I know we turned it around, but you can't be doing that to teams. Bristol Rovers are in a relegation fight. That's where they are. They're kind of a bottom 6, bottom 8 team. If that's anybody above that bottom 6 or 8, you put yourself on such a back foot. You probably go on and lose that game. If they had a bit more quality, a bit more composure, you go on and lose that game. You can't be doing that. And that backs up why we are where we are, I suppose, giving away soft goals like that in games.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get punished by quality teams for sure. I mean, put it this way, if we defend like against Wrexham, even though I think Wrexham are massively overachieving, I don't think they're even that good, but they're still got some good quality players. And if we defend like that, they will score 2 or 3 and we won't be coming back from that game. So they've got to, I don't know, I can see all these comments about the goal and all that. I feel a bit sorry for him, me. I think we've been spoiled rottenly with Victor Johansson, which we're missing him massively. And I just think the defence, what was in front of Victor Johansson, were a lot better. And I do feel sorry for goalie bit. I agree, he could make his big, he could do certain things better, but I think he's been a bit unfairly treated by someone. I don't think he's that bad. I don't think he's been playing that bad. His kicking's a bit off, but I just think it's lack of confidence in front of him. I think he knows he's going to be coming under all sorts of pressure because the 4 in front aren't playing too well. Or I don't know. It's a funny one, but yeah, play like that against Wrexham or any of the top team. I mean, we've got some big games coming up, so
we absolutely have. When did you feel the game turn at any point, mate? We'll talk about the Nombe goal at the minute, which came 36 minutes in. Was there a moment in the first half where you thought, okay, we've taken control of this game, or did the goal kind of come out of the blue a little bit?
No, I didn't think we took control of it at all in the first half. It did come out of the blue for me. It was a great little bit of skill from Mpanzu on byline to beat their player. But I didn't feel at any point, even after we'd scored, until we came out in that second half, I didn't feel that we were necessarily in control of the game. It just felt same old for me. You know, just long ball. Struggling for width again. There were a number of occasions where we got the ball out wide at the back, and then whichever side it was, whoever the midfielder was, came inside instead of going out wide. I spotted it a couple of times, and it was almost as if I don't know whether they've been told to do that or whatever, but it constantly it just made us have to go long constantly. And each time we went long, Clark Harris came too short. 9 times out of 10 came too short, and ball sailed over his head. And when he did make contact with it, I don't think we hardly won a second ball. No. But again, that's not unusual. That's what's happened all season, isn't it? So, no, I didn't. For me, the turning point was half time. In the first half, I didn't feel in any way that we were in control of the game.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying, that's how I read it at the time.
Okay. I agree. I do agree with you, though.
Thank you.
Yeah, fair enough. But the goal, Kevin, it comes from, I think Mpanzu was done fantastically well there. And that's the quality of Mpanzu. I mean, defender maybe could have done better. And then it's a bit of luck because the keeper's Staves is decent, but it's just straight back to Nombe, and it's 1-1. But do you think are we praising them Panzer? Or are we criticising their keeper and defender? Where are you lying?
I mean, we're talking about their first goal being poor. I thought our first goal from their point of view defending wise was shocking. I mean, you know, what 45 plus. I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch games, so I've seen the goals. Goals, but I was out car shopping with my daughter. But I saw the goal, and I'd straight away. You're just about to get to half time. You're a defender. You just put it out for a corner or front. You just put your foot through it, and he held off. And Panzer cut inside, and like I said, we got a bit lucky with the second chance on it, but it just felt the right time, mixed right. Getting that goal just for if we'd have gone in 1-0 at half time, I think we'd have been in trouble second half. We wouldn't come out as bright. It'd been a totally different game. So it was a very important goal, and I think after this run we've had and all that, we deserve a bit of luck, and I think we got it. We got it. Yeah,
big time. And somebody else will all deserve that. We'll come on to his second goal, but Nombe as well. Nombe deserves the look that he's been getting. He's one of the few that's worked hard the vast majority of this season as well. I'm buzzing for him with the winner yesterday. Somebody else I'm buzzing for, Mick, is Zach Jules. He's one of the players that I think's come out this season, will come out the season with a lot of credit in the bank. There's a lot to like about him. He played injured essentially yesterday. He pulled up with injury, I think, on Thursday and declared himself fit Saturday morning, which is the kind of thing that, and Rotherham fans like that when you're putting your body on the line for the team. That's what we ask for. We don't get that a lot from our players. But a great header from Zach Jules from what's almost on penalty spot. It's such a good header in such a good place. Keepers are maybe unsighted, maybe Nombe's in front of him, but at the same time, it's such a good header.
Yeah, it is, and it's a well-worked corner that we've probably used 5 or 6 times and scored at least 3 from them, at least 3, arguably more, and then we stopped doing it. It's almost as if we scored a couple of goals and we don't do it again for game after game. That little short corner and with Powell putting the ball across, we did it 2 or 3 times, obviously yesterday, and again got a goal from it. He's a good player, Zach Jules, isn't he? He really is. He's a very, very good signing. So yeah, it was a good header. Goalkeeper, again, arguably maybe could have done better. He could have been unsighted, I don't know, but he kind of went down in installments, didn't he? Trying to get across to it. So, but nevertheless, even if he'd have got there, I don't think he'd have. Well, I don't know. It's irrelevant. It's a well-worked goal. It's a well-worked goal and well taken.
Yeah, it is. Nick says I like Jules, big, strong in the air. He's also decent on the ball.
Yeah,
he's going to be crucial for next season, Kev, because Hacks is probably almost certainly not going to be here. It'd be a miracle if Hacks stays. So whatever your defense is going to be, whether it's going to be Raggett or somebody else, whether it's Zach Jules is going to be your man to kind of depend on. And for me, he's going to be, if we're going to have a good season next year, which is where we are now, Zach Jules is going to be fit and playing a lot of time because he's such a good player. I really like him.
Yeah, I do, mate, as well. It's future captain for me. I think. Obviously, I don't know who we're going to sign next season, but he'd be the one. I look at, obviously, like Hacks will be gone. He's the one looking down that list who would be for me the captain. And you can't. I think he's a Rotherham defender. He's just very different to your classics like Swalesy and McIntosh and all that. But plays with, he gets stuck in. He don't mind putting his head where it is. He's just a Rotherham defender. And I think that's why fans have took to him. And he's got 2 goals in 20 games, I think it is. So he's got decent for a defender. Please, Hugo's got 1 in 24. He's got 2 in 20. Well, that's not slagging. I'm not slagging Hugo off, but I'm just saying he's got a good return rate. He gets stuck in, and then set pieces. I don't understand why opposing managers, like Mick just said, that's 3 or 4 goals we've scored now from that same little routine where knock it short, cross it straight in, he whips it in, and teams aren't picking up on that. And if that were me as a manager, as opposition manager, I'd be having 2 men there waiting for it to happen, blocking it out, and not one team's doing it. So long may that continue.
It seems to be a thing we used to be a few years ago where if there was a man short, you'd have at least 2 men trying to close it down.
Exactly.
Right now, there's always only 1 man. There's always an option to go short. I don't understand. You're right. I don't get it. But,
well, I've also never got why on a corner, like say we've got a corner, why don't they just put 8 men up front? We'd have to send 8 back to mark them. So there'd be 2 in box. Just do it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. If we've not to play for last game of the season, I hope Evans does that and just got laughs. What happens? Yeah, let's do it. Let's have some fun. The goal was an assist, I think, for Joe Powell, Mick. he is one of the most frustrating players I can remember in a long time, Joe Powell, because the effort is there. Basically, although I know he had a bit of a shock against Barnsley, but the work rate is there. He does what we want him to do in terms of getting around the pitch. But his set pieces are either fantastic, like they were for the Zach Jules goal, or they are absolute garbage. There's not much in between for Joe Powell. And I wonder, is that going to stop him being as good as he wants to be? Is it going to hurt us next season? Can you rely on Joe Powell to be delivering all the balls next season, looking forward? I don't know, because that ball is such a good ball for that second goal and for the third one, to be fair, as well.
I mean, we talk about that corner routine and how well it worked. We did it again a couple of minutes later, and it went straight out. He put it straight out of play.
Yeah.
So that kind of sums it up. You know, he put the first one straight onto Zach Jules' head, bang, back at net. Next one ended up in Rowe's head. And I think that kind of sums up a little bit Joe Powell as he is at the moment. You know, he's inconsistent. Sometimes he's really, really good. Other times he isn't. That's footballers at this level.
Yeah.
He's a youngish lad, you know, and he won't be the same player next season as he is this season. None of them will. You know, they all develop one way or another, either go forwards or backwards or whatever. So it's something he's going to have to work on, isn't it? He's going to have to work on his consistency. I'm sure he's aware of it. Of course he is. You know, he's the one whose foot the ball is leaving. He can see where it's going, and he knows when he's not done it. He's not achieved what he wanted to achieve. So I'm sure he'll work on that. But yeah, he is a bit frustrating. But he's not the only player.
No, by no means. No.
You know, we've got Malik Wilkes there, who's a world beater on 1 minute, and next minute you don't even know where he is. You're having to look around and see if you can find him. So you know that, and again, you could apply that to quite a lot of other players in the squad, and arguably, I suppose, any other team in this division probably. Yeah. So I mean, he's not the player that he was touted to be by the manager at the beginning of the season. No. He can be occasionally.
Could be next year, and it could be in a year or two's time, couldn't it?
Yeah. He has that potential. So let's see how that one pans out. But at the moment, as it stands, like a lot of the others, he's very inconsistent.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Nick says, listen to his interview, Zach Jules' interview, was referring to it as Hacks, who told him to make that run as it meant to be Hacks making the run. Did anybody listen to Steve Evans' interview last night after the game where he tried riling up Bristol City fans? No reason.
Yeah.
Oh, big enough. I know. I heard the one where he was saying that he thinks of the biggest club in Bristol.
Biggest. Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to agree with Steve Evans because I am not a Steve Evans fan, as you're aware. But in my head, all my time, the Rovers were always the bigger club in Bristol for me. Always in my head. I don't know why.
Don't Bristol City get about 27,000 at home?
I know they do. Yeah. They do. But if I think as far as I'm concerned, in my memory, Rovers were always higher up the league table than City were. Maybe I don't. Maybe they weren't. It's just what I think
back in the day when they had Jason Roberts and Nathan Ellington, all them players. I think they were probably bigger than, but Bristol City, like a lot of clubs, got some investment. Built a new ground or developed Ashton Gate and back over. Done all right.
Yeah.
Although it must be boring being a Bristol City fan. Like literally, every season you're gonna be 10th. What a crap that is. It's like, what's the point?
Exactly, yeah. It's the most boring club ever.
They do manage to bring a few players around about who throw themselves about on the floor and all that sort of stuff. They like a bit of cheating, don't they, down there? So, Rovers are a bigger club. I agree with Evans.
General Wells, part of me really likes Steve Evans because if he was a manager, he would be a proper shit house as well and just spout rubbish, upset fan bases. We talk about Evans and kind of talk about how much nonsense he spouts. When we win, he can say what he wants. I'm all for spouting about other position when we win.
I'm very shallow, very fickle.
I'd be up front doing fist bumps with him, like, well, you don't really loves to be on bounce and you want him out, but he is very mad. He's mad with his own fans, let alone opposition fans. It's crazy, but and I think half the time, when you listen to him, he can talk some sense, but then he just drops in the Leeds United and Alex Ferguson and all that stuff. And you think, shut up, mate, stop talking.
Yeah, exactly. Mark Campbell says the Donald Trump of football. Okay, I'm not sure he'd take that right now, but let's move on. But Mick, the game changed after they made their substitutes. They made 3 substitutions. They brought on Promise on a cherry or whatever. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And for a spell up until they scored, they did change the game. They were able to then really stretch the game because he had bags of pace and he was also strong. They changed it and we didn't react straight away. Well, all really. They just kind of ran out of steam a little bit. So that's a concern again, with all due respect to Bristol Rovers, against a better team who had that pace and strength from the minute one. That's a problem because their goal came from pushing us back and getting in behind and whatever else the case may be. Yeah. We didn't respond to that, and that's a worry.
Yeah, well, we don't though, do we? We don't respond to the opposition at any point usually during the game, and if we do, it's 20 minutes too late. Yeah, there's not a lot else I can say about that. You're right. They did take control of the game for a short period of time, and obviously got an equaliser. But and I like that lad the lad up front who came on. He did look strong. He did look strong, and he looked pacey, and he caused problems more so than Chris Martin, who he came on for. I assume he got a gig with Coldplay later on in the night, so he had to leave early. Sorry, that were horrible. That were really bad. That were really awful. I tried. I got it in anyway.
You couldn't resist, could you?
I couldn't. I tried it yesterday. My wife didn't think it was very funny either. There you go. Yeah, we didn't react to start with anyway.
Yeah, no, we didn't. Absolutely. And then they get the goal 73 minutes. It's gone off my screen now. I think around 73 minutes they got that goal, Kev, and it's obviously a very different goal to the first goal, but it still felt massively avoidable, like the first goal. And when that goes in, when the guys we spoke to for the scout report, Talking Gas, he did like an instant reaction, and he said as soon as they got the second goal, he thought they were going to go on and win the game. And I felt exactly the same. As soon as it went 2-2, I thought, right, that's it, they're going to win this game. At best, we're going to get a point.
Yeah, I told Lauren I didn't watch the game. I actually turned it on about a minute before that goal went in, weirdly, and you could see it coming. And it sounds weird, but when they had the ball, it was almost like I knew what was going to happen. I knew where the ball was going to go into the box. I knew it was going to be a crappy header at back post. I knew it was going to go in back. I mean, it was a poor header as well. It was just all round shocking goal, and our defending were terrible for it. And you're right. As soon as that went in, that's it. I actually turned it off after that, but. So I can't comment whether we're going to win or not, but it was just piss poor defending. All right, it was just a horrible goal from their point of view as well. Horrible.
Yeah, well, did you think same? Would you have that sinking feeling when it goes 2-2, especially from home against a good team that were good at? They are good at home as well.
Yeah, you do feel that, and let's be honest. Bristol Rovers were poor yesterday. They were a poor side. And that's not. That's not digging them out. I mean, I'm sure a lot of their supporters will say the same as well. And you do still feel the way that we've been playing and the way that we're performing and the way the confidence is and everything else, that to get a bit of a gut punch like that, you feel that we might just end up waving white flag here. I didn't feel at that point. I thought it's either going to be a point or a defeat. This. That's how it felt. But that part of that is obviously the fact that you come from 1-0 down to be leading game, and then you get pegged back again. So that obviously impacts how you feel about it as well. But I didn't think we were going to get out at that point.
No. Nick says no one's closing the man down. He had time to pick out his man. It was very, very poor. So I suppose we'll come on to the goal in a minute, Kev, but I suppose that from that sense, they deserve a lot of credit, these players, because from that moment onward, we didn't look like conceding the third. We didn't look like we were going to lose. No. And I think for the last 5 to 10 minutes, including injury time, I thought we then became the better team. And then the goal comes. But I think we deserve a lot of credit. Evans and the players deserve a lot of credit for turning that round mentally.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. That happened. I didn't watch it. But yeah, you're right. It does. Especially like we just said from at the beginning. To have that record on your back, the players must have been thinking when that equaliser went in, thinking, "Okay, here we go again. It's going to happen again, isn't it? We're going to another Saturday out to win." So yeah, to come back, and I did see obviously the highlights. I saw the goal, and it was scrappy. But to have that fight back, bounce back ability, great word to use.
Yeah.
To have that and with the pressure on of that hoodoo and breaking it, I think that you've got to give him credit. Got to give him credit.
Yeah, big time. Let's talk about the goal, Mick, because one of the Sam Nombe knew nothing about it, but he was doing the right thing. You're following up. If somebody wins ahead of you, following up. But I suppose the first point of praise is Joe Powell, because that is a fantastic ball in. It was absolutely begging for somebody to power that home. No, JJ didn't power it home, but it was begging out, crying out for somebody to bury it. And that's the frustration of Joe Powell, because that is such a good ball.
Yeah. He can put them in, can't he? And if only he could do it more often or more consistently, like we just said. Yeah, we're great balling. It's a great balling and a fantastic jump from JJ as well. That was a really important substitution because all of a sudden we were playing with 11 men. We played, for me, I'm sure we played with 10 for the majority of the game, pretty much. And he made that 11th man, and he was excellent. He's got pace, he's got strength. I mean, I look at him stood at the sidelines waiting to come on, and he's obviously Clark Harris is going off. And you look at JJ's legs, and he looks like stick legs, doesn't he? In comparison, but he's a strong lad. He's a big lad, and he's got pace to burn, and obviously that long throw to go with it, and the spring he got to get his head on that ball. I mean, it was going in. I think maybe the keeper might have got to it, to be fair, but he certainly headed it in the right direction into bottom corner and everything else. And he did really, really well there. And I think Nombe probably arguably knew a lot more about that one than he did about the Cambridge one, but
not that much.
No, it was still a bit of a lucky finish. You've got to be there, haven't you? And he's in the right place. He's doing what a striker should do. They're both Coyote and Nombe doing exactly what you expect of your strikers. That substitution not been made, I don't think we'd have scored that goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, good.
I know we're saying it were a bit of a lucky goal, right place, right time. It does make you question whether one or two of our other strikers would have actually been there and got that, doesn't it? Yeah. It's like he were there. He's always there. He's always, Fox in the box. He's got to do it. That's why I like to see more Nombe. I'd like to see more of that. But he seems to be doing the work of others currently, so it's hard for him to be in that.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say that because the two goals that Nombe scored are when we talk about Johnson Clark Harris is if put ball in box, he'll be there. Yeah. Well, he isn't. Nombe and on Saturday Nombe was the guy that was there on the spot, and obviously JJ coming on has helped him for that. But Nombe deserves a lot of credit. He does so much work. So much. He does, like I said, does 2 men's work, at least 2 men's work, sometimes 3 with Wilkes. Well, Wilkes were off yesterday, sometimes 3 men's work. He deserves such credit, and I couldn't have wished it for anybody else to get that goal, the 2 goals, than Nombe, because he just deserves the goals he's getting finally.
He does, yeah. And he's doing that work of a few people, and I don't know. I think he's been. Don't get me wrong, he's missed some chances. He has missed a few, but he's still a young lad. He's carrying a heavy price tag of a 1.2 million or we're signing on his shoulders as well. There's a lot of pressure on him. He's our record sign. He's a record sign, isn't he? So a lot of pressure on his shoulders. A young lad. He's still adapting. He's moved from our end of nowhere up to Rotherham. So he's uprooted all his family. He's still settling in, and I don't think he's had a bad season. I think he's showing promise. Like we say, he's doing the work rate of it. He's doing a lot more work. He's always putting his about. He's the only one who can. He's only one of our front forwards who can actually spin off the shoulder of somebody and get around back to someone and get in behind them. And I'm liking myself, Coyote. He's never had a run. He's never had a fair crack of whip. And what better time than now? I mean, seasons. I know there's people saying playoffs are back on. They're not, are they? They're not back on. So what better time to give Josh Coyote a proper running team? See if he can stay fit. See if he can score some goals. See if he can earn a new contract. Because if we get him playing right, then he could be a big player in League One next year if he's firing. But he needs to obviously 15 games, 14 games. Let's prove it.
Yeah, he deserves a shot. He's earning a shot to get some more minutes. But the goal, Mick, like I said, just over 3 years, and it goes in, and the scenes of those almost 400 Rotherham fans going a bit crazy it's what it's all about. We talk about football's all about those moments, those goals we score, and the season's dead and buried. But that goal still means as much as any other goal we've scored in quite a long time. And those are the moments you support your football club for and those fans there, they deserved it, because I'm sure most of those who went there have been to most of the games that have been in the past 3 years as well.
Yeah, and the feeling we've all been there, we've all seen that, we've all had that feeling when a crucial goal goes in. It's not crucial in terms of the outcome of the season, but given the circumstances, it's an important goal and an important win, and when you are there, particularly when it's away from home, it is a special moment. It really is. So yeah, really, really happy. That's a hell of a journey down to Bristol. Again, given the circumstances. So yeah, really pleased for everybody there. Fantastic.
I dare say the majority there on Saturday were the same people who were at Cambridge as well, who witnessed that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, probably right. Yeah. How big a win is it in the context of the season? I'm right, Kev. Playoffs is done. They're dead and buried. But if we'd lost the game, Burton didn't win, so we would have been 5 points. We wouldn't have dropped by much. But mentally, to make it, we're 8 points away from the relegation. It's dead and buried. It gives you a platform to then build on against Leyton Orient, to then make up maybe another win, to go to Wrexham and pick up something else as well. It's a platform, and it takes pressure off Evans as well, because he was under a huge amount of pressure from fans as well. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I'm joking saying playoffs are done. They're not, are they? They're not really. Mathematically, they're well and truly in our grasp, I suppose. And this is, like I said to you earlier, this is a massive month. We play 4 of the top 8, I think it is, or Leyton Orient, Wrexham, Bolton, and one other. I don't know who it is. Wickham. Got them. I don't for 1 minute think we're going to pick up 4 wins against them 4 teams, but strange things have happened, especially I suppose where we're playing. But strange things have happened, and if we did have a good March and pick up, I don't know, double figures, maybe a higher double figure, 12, 13 points, who knows? But I don't think it is. But the results Saturday were massive, like you say. If you're suddenly, we're no longer looking over his shoulder as much. It does give us a bit of breathing space. It does give Evans a bit of time, probably for our benefit as well, to give a few, like Jay Cole was on the bench at the weekend. I know he didn't, but players like Josh Coyote, if we get that breathing space where we're definitely not going to in a relegation scrap, it can give these players a chance and build for next season. But if we're always looking over his shoulder and 3 or 4 points adrift, and he can't, he's going to have to play Clark Harris, he's going to have to play Hugo. He's going to have to play them big players. Yeah,
no, that's fair. Well, we've had a positive, Mick. Let's go to the negative side of things. Let's talk a bit more about Johnson Clark Harris. He's a big problem at the minute, isn't he, Johnson Clark Harris? We were promised big things from him and from Steve Evans as well. I still can't see what he gives us when he comes on. The Barnsley game last week was a perfect example. He's just trying to start fights more than he's actually trying to get involved in the game. And he did have a better game. John Davis played, but Johnson Clark has had a better game yesterday. He did, yeah. It was still not effective, and we're still having to have Sam Nombe do his legwork for him, and also get in the positions he's meant to be in as well. Johnson Clark Harris is a problem. We talk about some positives for next year and who's going to be key players. Johnson Clark Harris is a problem for next year at this stage.
With the greatest respect to John there, I mean, he had a better game than what?
Well, than fighting up Barnsley, trying to fight up Barnsley players.
Yeah, all right. He had a better game than Barnsley game, and I arguably, I suppose he had a better game than Reading as well, because he were only on for about five minutes, I think, in that game, weren't he? It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. He's in the wrong position the bulk of the time. Some of that I don't think is his fault. Some of that is down to the way that they've been told to play by hoofing it long. That doesn't suit him. So he's rarely in the box. He's usually trying to drop short to try and win a ball for somebody else to win the second ball that nobody ever does. So that don't help him. But for me, it's completely ineffective. Does not impact the game at any point, or hasn't done, should I say. We know that he can. When I went on the Bristol City podcast the other day, and I described him as a bang average League One striker, is how I described him. And I think I was being too fair. I was being quite fair there with that. I'm not the way he's performing at the moment. He ain't anywhere close to being that. And one of the lads on there were quite offended. He said, "I can't believe you're calling him a bang average League One striker," because obviously what he's done for them when he played
amazing for them. Yeah.
I said, well, as he is at the moment, that's probably being kind to him because he ain't. And yesterday were a perfect example. He didn't impact the game at all. There was an occasion in the first half that I found so frustrating. He got the ball inside the edge of the 18-yard box on the left-hand side on his left foot. We know what a bullet of a left foot he's got. He needed to take the shot on. Instead, he pulled it onto his right foot that he struggles to stand on. They might kick with, and basically passed it back to the goalkeeper. I don't know whether it's a confidence thing. It's got to be a confidence thing.
It's got to be.
It has to be.
Massive.
But he's not doing himself any favours at all.
No.
Not at all. And I wasn't really surprised that Evans brought him back. He obviously threw a paddy with Hugo for missing that sitter just before half time in the Barnsley game, and decided he's going to spend his time on notice step. But for me, Clark Harris, it's almost the same conversation we were having after post-Exeter game in August. Is he actually fit?
Yeah,
because we know he can do it, but he ain't impacting games in any way, shape, or form, as far as I'm concerned. And I wouldn't have him anywhere near the team, frankly.
No. Sean H. Evans said Joseph Clark Harris had a great game yesterday. What we're all missing.
I mean, that's just nonsense. I mean, I know it's up. I mean, that's up there. If he did say that, I've not heard him say that. If he actually said that, that is absolutely up there with some of the biggest load of nonsense he's spoken all season. That is probably not true.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I agree. He's one of those players. Can you, not just yesterday, but in other games he's played, can you make a case for Clark Harris starting, for example, on Tuesday? Is there anything he brings to the team that you think actually does this, that, and the other? I mean, even Hugo's been better. Hugo were good up until the Barnsley miss, and that's saying something. How bad Hugo has been.
I've been a bit critical of Hugo, and I think he needs confidence. He needs a goal. He needs a goal or two, and it's soon. If any of them goals are going in against Barnsley, the one before, just what missed, any of them go in, and he might go and run against. But the Clark Harris thing, I do feel for him because he's a real nice bloke. Do you know what I mean? And we're all criticising. He might watch this. I don't know, but he'll be beating his son up more than we're moaning about. He'll be having to go to his son because he has had a brilliant goals. He's used to scoring 20 goals plus a season, and all of a sudden he's what? I don't even know how many he's got. He's 3 or 4. It's not even
5 or 6. I think he's got 3 penalties. I think
3 penalties. Yeah, he'll be his own worst critic, mate. So he'll be upset and gutted with his own performances.
Yeah,
and I mean personally, I do think he looks a tad overweight for me. He don't look as fit as he could be. I don't know. I'm not exactly slightly sense about it, but probably not. But he don't, as a professional footballer, I don't know. Maybe he's just got a bit. I don't know. Who knows what's going on outside the world of football? But to me, he does look down on confidence. Like Mick says, that I didn't see that one yesterday, but there's been a few occasions where I've just thought, get up and open yourself up and have a shot, and just played the wrong pass or try playing someone in a few home games. That's not Johnson Clark Harris, who we all know and probably we know. Johnson Clark Harris is usually scoring from 20 yards plus, and just firing from left, right, and centre. But he just seems to be no confidence and not willing to shoot, not willing to take any risks. Probably due to the fact that he knows if he hits one that goes in Rose Head, the way he's been playing, the way fans will get on players' backs, he'll be in for some sticks. They probably took the safer option, which I don't know. It's not for me. I just think we need the old, especially seeing as though he's got a long contract and he is going to be, because let's be right, based on this form, no one's going to take him off his hands next season. So tough one.
Yeah, I feel as though I've been really harsh about it with him, and I feel it is down to confidence more than all else. Yeah, I have. He can clearly do it. I'm not saying for 1 minute that he's a bad player or anything like that. But I think he's been foisted into this team by the manager, unfit or not fit enough to start with, and now lacking in confidence. He's come back from injury. Is he fully recovered from that? He's clearly not match fit.
I don't think he's been fit since he signed.
Which again is going to impact his confidence. Yeah. And couple all that with what we've said all season. We do not give Johnson Clark Harris the ball where he needs the ball. We're asking him to do stuff in areas of the pitch where he isn't going to be able to impact the game in the way that he should be, which is scoring goals.
Yeah.
We don't do it. We don't play him in the right position. We don't put the balls into the box where he's going to cause problems.
Yeah, that's right.
And that is down to tactics and manager. That's not down to Clark Harris or anybody else. And that again is something else that's going to impact him mentally and his approach to the game.
I agree. It could almost be playing with a bit of caution as well, because if he has been injured from day dot when we first signed him and got chucked straight. I mean, let's be right. Our Exeter away, first game of the season. The first name on that team sheet should have been Sam Nombe, and he weren't even on. He come on with 10 minutes left. That game, I think that set the sail straight. If Clark Harris has been carrying an injury or a knock, and he's probably playing in his head. And like you said, mate, the style of play we've been playing, that's not his style of play. Dropping back to pick up the ball with his back to goal is not Johnson Clark Harris, and that's what he's going to do.
And also, he's also watching Jordan Ugle sat on bench for missing a sitter.
Yeah, fear.
How does that impact him, and how does it impact everybody else?
Yeah. No, I agree. Mike Miller says Clark Harris lost 6 kilograms according to Evans. And I think that's important to point out, that he's putting the effort in. He's not just sitting there while he's injured, just thinking that's all right, I'll just turn up and I'll play it. He clearly knows the problem. He's clearly aware of the situation, everything else. So nobody wants Clark Harris to perform any more than us on here, and then on every other Rotherham fan. We're desperate for him to bang a goal, because if you get Clark Harris going, he's a goal machine, literally a goal machine.
Yeah.
But you've got to find a way to play him, and I'll be honest, I don't think Evan knows how to play him.
I don't think he knows how to play anybody. Sorry, did that slip out? Sorry. Sorry.
Okay. He'll get some stick. It's fine.
46 minutes. I've done all right, I think.
Sean McWilliams was back, Mick. The guy who was in the run in January was a point of the diamond, full of energy in the attacking areas. So we played him at right back, which is frustrating, and probably frustrating for Sean McWilliams, bearing in mind he's been injured. But having said that, I think he deserves a decent amount of credit as well, because he was decent. He was better than Hacks has been. He was much better than Hacks were at right back.
Yeah.
But hopefully, Rafferty's just an illness, so hopefully Rafferty will be back Tuesday, if not Saturday. So he's got 90 minutes under his belt, obviously 90 minutes under his belt, and in an unfamiliar position. He's becoming post-January, I feel like McWilliams is becoming a more and more important player with his utility and his energy and everything else. I wonder how important, again, he's going to be next year.
Yeah, he did a decent job. I mean, I don't know whether he's played in that position previously or not. I assume at some point he must have done. But certainly maybe not at this level. He did really well. He did really, really well. I don't recall a point other than the first goal where anybody got in behind him. But again, that wasn't down to him. I don't think that was down to one of the central defenders and/or Cam Humphries to have gone with that runner. But I thought he had a decent game. And he managed to get forward as well. You know, so there's an argument there to say that if he is capable of doing that, then play
give width
back and he give us some width.
Yeah.
Which we've been screaming out for all season. So yeah, he is an important player. There's no doubt about it. It took him a little while to break into team, but once he has done, he's become an important part of it. So yeah, I like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I think with Steve Evans, if Steve Evans likes you, he will tell you he likes you, and he'll make you feel loved, Kev. And I get the feeling that from January 1st onwards, when he played against Lincoln, I get the feeling that Evans has decided he now likes McWilliams. So I think he'll get that love, and I think he is somebody that Evans will get the best out of going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen a big difference. I think he's looked quality some games. I think he's probably close to being man of match in a couple of games. But what's his best position? I don't know. Again, like not slagging Evans off, but I'm not sure he does either. And like I say, clearly likes the lad, and there's a lot to like about him. He's athletic. He's fit. He gets about. Puts his head in there. I know he scored against Lincoln, Bradford. Scored against Bradford. We're tapping. Yeah, but he gets his nice team actually in them positions to score a goal. And I think he again building on for next season in League One, he could be another big player. The problem with Evans with this, he clearly likes him, but as much as he likes someone 1 minute, he soon dislikes them. And then, like you said, like Jordan Ugle, probably been playing the best he's played all season and back end of last season. All he needs is a goal, Yeah, he misses. I mean, that Barnes one, I retweeted it. Personally, I think he should have scored it. He should have scored it.
Yeah.
It did come out with a bit of pace, and I don't know why he tried chesting it or whatever he did. I don't know. Just do anything to bring him back in there. But suddenly, that playing well, that goal goes in, is a different player. The last thing to do when you got someone low on confidence, and the fans were actually starting to get back on Newell's side as well.
Yeah.
And then he goes and benches him, and clearly in his interview, was in a cryptic way, has said that he's fuming with him and he's put him on bench. It's just not my kind of man. Evans gets paid to manage a club. That's what he's doing. It's just not the way I'd do it. I'd be, I'm not even talking about Paul Warren coming back, but it did wrap the players up. He did protect his players, and if they were playing bad, he made sure, they were playing bad, and we knew they were playing bad, but he'd do all he could to bring them out of that. Not bench them at first opportunities as punishments. Don't work.
No, I mean, it's Michael Smith is a really good example. How many chances, when we got relegated in COVID, Smith missed loads.
Yeah.
But then the next season, League One, he gets 25 or whatever he got. He was able to manage him. I think you're right. Right. Anything else from the game you want to mention before we have a quick look at Leyton Orient?
I don't think so.
I know I told him I didn't watch it. No,
yeah. So Leyton Orient coming to town on Tuesday. Before Saturday, I was kind of worried about that, but they were winning 1-0 up until the 92nd minute and lost to Charlton at home. So, Mick, this should be, in theory, we're coming up a 92nd minute winner, which lifts all that weight off us. They're coming off the back of a late loss at home against a playoff rival. In theory, this should be a good time to play Leyton Orient.
Yeah, it should be, shouldn't it? It should be. They've lost the last 2 away games as well. So I've done a bit of research.
Wow, that's
what I mean. I've
got some more.
I've got more. I mean, they've lost last 2, Bolton and Birmingham, weren't it? So, who knows?
One of those was that red card at Birmingham, though. To be fair,
yeah. Harsh. John in comments. I don't know, mate. Is it a good time to play them? I don't know. We've lost our last 2 at home badly. I don't mean in terms of goal wise. I mean in terms of performance level. I don't know. I genuinely, it's so difficult to call because, we could turn up and that team that played for the first 20-25 minutes of the second half yesterday, that really went at Bristol. If we've got that team playing for 90 minutes, I'll be comfortable. I'll be very happy, and I think we'd get something out of the game. I don't think that team will turn up because I think we'll go back to being as narrow as we possibly can and hoofing it to whoever's up front. That seems to be the default position. And I know it's a little bit passive aggressive, but nevertheless, that's basically what we do. We've done it all season, so I don't see why that's likely to change. So I am not particularly confident, I'm not going to lie. But the win on Saturday gave us, like Kev said earlier on, a decent amount of breathing space now. Yeah. So, if we don't turn up on Tuesday night, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Until it becomes 5 points very quickly, like back to bottom.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Nick says the thing with this season is we never know which Rotherham's going to turn up. And the Millers that smash Charlton or Bolton, or the Rotherham that gets smashed against Burton. Yeah. And the home form seems to have turned, Kev. The home form was something we had to rely on to the away form. But if you look at the last couple of weeks, Mick mentioned the Shrewsbury and the Barnsley loss. But then you look at the away form, performance-wise, Bristol Rovers pretty good, Reading really good at times, and Birmingham, again, very, very good. Whereas the home form are the complete opposite. So I hope that's not becoming an issue where the performances at home have dropped. But this certainly, I think we beat Cambridge before Shrewsbury, and that weren't that good against Cambridge either. Wow. So the home performances have dropped significantly. Yeah,
I think the atmosphere is poor as well, and I think that must rub off on players. Like we keep saying all that, the pressure on them. I think the expectation always when they're at home, because let's be right, we should be a lot higher up the table. Players know that, and then the added pressure at home, and it don't take a lot for our fans to start the groans and grumbling from the stands. I'm one of them, so I know it's true because I do it myself. It only takes one miss or a poor first half, and fans we're on them, aren't we? So probably a bit of extra pressure at home. They want to perform better, but when I saw the fixtures for March, I thought, oh, great for our own games. But then, like you say, the there's some tough games, and we are currently playing better at home. But I like Orient. I actually backed them in January. I listened to talks on way to work, and they were third bottom or fourth bottom. They had a mare start, but someone I can't remember. Someone said that I looked at the squad and I thought they should be a lot higher. And they went on a run of about 15 games, I think, after that. They're a good team. You can't not wear they play good football. I think that's the beauty of watching them. But I saw the goals against Charlton at the weekend. I mean, that they're primed for that's how we score. The two they conceded are exactly how we score goals. Two deep, two balls, caught two corners, both to the back post, both defended headed it back, and 2 goals in 4 minutes. And that, I think, I don't like playing that thingy, but I think that'll be Evans' talking thing on Tuesday. That's what we're saying to a bit of tactics. Set pieces are key on Tuesday night, and pressure's on Joe Powell to deliver, like we just said. It hits and miss, but no better time to get some quality balls into the box, and we will score because Orient clearly can't defend corners or set pieces.
No, absolutely. It'll be a very different Orient team than we played in October when we played them on that Tuesday night, when it was just one of the worst games of the season. That was when Steve Evans laid into Cam Humphries and laid into the Sheffield reporter as well, if you remember. Yeah. This should be a much better game, mainly because of the position they're in, probably. Well, I have spoken to Steve from the Orient Outlook for the scouting report. That'll be up tomorrow. He'll give us a bit of a rundown. There is a bit of a minor beef between Steve Evans and Richie Wellens as well. He got promoted at the same time with Stevenage next and Leighton Orient as well. So there's a little bit of something going on there, which might be worth watching on Tuesday. So Steve Evans fights for everybody, I suppose, doesn't he?
An opposition manager has beef with Steve Evans. I'm
not
sure that's true.
Yeah. If we win, I'm sure he'll say something smart in his post-match, Evans, I'm sure. In terms of changes, Mick, we don't know if Joe Raffett is going to be available. Evans sounded positive, so let's assume that he is. Then there becomes questions, don't there? Because then Sean Williams can be moved out of that position. And the front three of McWilliams, Nombe and Wilkes, which was fantastic in January, then becomes available. You can put Williams at the point of that diamond. Wilkes there as well. And they are going to play football. Leighton Orient are a passing team. They like to keep the ball. If you can have those 3 pace and legs up there, for me, if Raffett is fit, it's absolute no-brainer. You've got to start those 3 in those kind of advanced positions for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course you have. Particularly if they are a possession-based team, because we need to press. And if you've got Hugo or Clark Harris up there, you've got no press. Because there's nowhere to start it or nobody to continue it. So because neither of them have got the pace to do that. Whereas those 3, as you mentioned there, are ideal for it. So yeah, I can't see it happening. Genuinely, I can't see it happening. I know I'm cynical, but he will stick with Clark Harris, I'm sure. Particularly if he's talking him up after the game on Saturday, saying what a good game he had, then he will start on Saturday. On Tuesday. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I might be wrong, and I hope I am, but I just can't see it. Evans has put his eggs in the Clark Harris basket, and I don't think he's like the chairman. He's not going to back down. So we'll have to wait and see how that one pans out. But I agree with you, Matt. Yeah, definitely get that pace up there and start to press them, because they ain't going to be good enough. They ain't going to be good enough to play possession-based football. It's as simple as that. They're not. So if they're put under pressure and pressed well enough, then it'll cause them problems.
I think personally, he needs protecting a bit of Clark Harris. He needs to be taken out of firing line, rested. Like I'd rather him come back for the final 8 games, firing and fit, and get a few games. But I think part of me is thinking stick with him. Evans is stubborn. Like I agree with Mick. He'll be starting Tuesday night. I'm sure of it, because he's a stubborn old mule. And part of me then thinking, do you stick by him? Do you try and get him a goal? But he don't do that. Otherwise, he'd have stuck by Hugo when he was actually playing all right. So who knows? I think he just tosses a coin half the time and chooses that way.
You like to think it's horses for courses, and like we mentioned, if Leighton Orient going to try and play out a little bit, you then go with the legs, and then bring if Clark Harris, you want to bring Clark Harris and Wrexham are much more physical, then Clark Harris maybe makes sense next week against them, and you give him a little bit of rest in midweek as well.
That'd be too sensible, Matt. That'd be sensible.
Yeah, United and sensible don't really work, does it? I don't know. Nick asks, was Green ill or injured? Apparently, Andrew Green was ill yesterday, so he may be somebody available because the bench looked thin again. Back to being very thin yesterday. The other midfield three seems pretty set and settled at the minute, though. Kev, Joe Powell, Cam Humphries, and Mpanzu. Sorry, I know Cam Humphries was what played his part in the goal being conceded, but and he's not playing as well as he was to start with. But he's doing a pretty good job in that position. He's filling the role. He's not. Don't give the ball away too much. Those three, we've got a settled side in that. Defense and everything else might be a bit of a mess, but those three seem pretty settled at the minute, and that's a good base.
Yeah, definitely. And on the, I mean, Mpanzu, I think he's really improved us. He just look. You can tell he's recently played Premier League football. It looks different class to anybody else out of that pitch. And yeah, Cam Humphries. Maybe the cynic in me thinks that he suddenly had a good January and early February because trying to get his move in the summer. I don't know, but I don't care either because he's not going to sign a new contract. As we all know, he's going. So whether he's putting his own shop window, I don't care if he does a job for us. He's been a great servant to club. So if he moves, he moves. But I think he's probably dropped. He was a bit from what I heard. I think he was a bit distant. We weren't really seen yesterday much, but.
No.
And he's certainly dropped off a bit, but midfield's his position, I think. I'd be surprised wherever he ends up next year. I'd be surprised if he drops back to centre back. I think he's found his position.
I can see that. We're a manager who wants to play a bit more football. I think he could really fit in, especially at League One level.
Yeah.
I think we should Reece James. I thought Reece James had a better game on Saturday. Yeah. And he's really, really struggled recently. I mean, we only have to watch all of the Barnsley highlights to see how bad a game he had last week.
Yeah.
But he came back. He was quiet. And it was the Reece James I expected. He didn't do anything special, but we were never left exposed on his side of the pitch. Everything was obviously McWilliam's side and the right side. So I think he deserves a bit of praise that he's hopefully come out of this spell and back to normal maybe.
Yeah, he was solid, wasn't he? He was solid. What you expect from him. It does remind me a little bit of Joe Matic in the way he plays, in the sense that he's just nothing special, just a good old-fashioned solid left back. Happy days. I have no issue with that. As is Rafferty when he decides to stay as a right back rather than wander off somewhere up pitch and never come back again. But yeah. Yeah, he's done all right because, like you say, he did have a bit of a howler against Barnsley. He's going to go. Players do, don't they? That's just how it is. So yeah, he had a decent game Saturday. Yeah.
Nick says he likes Reece James, steady player. Yeah, very, very steady.
Steady, I think that's a good way to describe him. Yeah, he's a good steady.
I think he's been hauled off quite a few games too early as well. So I think he seems to be Evans' go-to to bring him off. Which I think he's been steady. I think he's been no sparkling, but it's what you expect for him. I think,
yeah, great. Right, let's move on to predictions. I've updated the prediction league. There were points picked up at the weekend.
Not bad.
Kev, Joy, and Tom all predicted victories, so you all pick up some points and move up. Joy has moved back to level in points with Mick. Tom's moved within 3 points. Did Danny predict to win? Danny predicted a win as well, yes. So Danny's picked up a point. There's only Ben and Mick didn't pick up any points. So back to being very, very close at the top. A couple of 3-0 wins, Kev, and you're back in with a shout here.
You know what, man? All season, mate, I've not even believed we're going to win 3-0 at any point, but I can't change it. In fact, I'm going to go 2-0. I better win 3-0 now.
Changing it up.
2-0. 2-0.
Okay. 2-0. Okay. Mick, still top, still joint top. You haven't dropped. I'll read everybody else. Sorry. Tom's gone for a 2-1 victory. Ben's gone for a 2-0 loss. Danny's also gone for a 1-0 loss. I will find Joy's out when I can. Mick, joint top.
I didn't realize we were going straight into this. I've got some more research here for you.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, go on, give us some research then. Go for it.
First goal on Tuesday night is going to be massive.
Okay.
Absolutely massive. Seriously, Lane Orient this season have scored first 7 times away from home. They've won 6 of them.
Oh,
okay.
They've conceded first 7 times this season and won 1 of them.
Oh.
Okay.
So whoever scores first on Tuesday night, it's a big, big issue. So we've conceded first 10 times and won 3.
I think you built that stat up a bit too high though, Mickey. Weren't that good?
Hey, for me, Kev, that's really good.
I think we're an hour and 5 minutes for that.
Yeah. I've got more if you want. They're all pretty boring. Yeah, I mean, it just shows it's going to be quite important whoever gets that first goal. Particularly if we score, the chances of them coming back and getting out of the game are pretty remote. So I'm going to do 2-1 Rotherham.
2-1 Rotherham. Okay.
Yeah. Us to score first.
Is mixed stats corner going to be a regular thing, or is this just because you got bored today?
No, I mean it might be. I can do if you want.
Well, see what the people want, mate. If they want,
I can tell you that they've played 16, won 7, drawn 2, lost 7. So draws unlikely.
I can tell you reading it straight off the screen aside here.
Yeah.
Correct.
YouTuber says 2-1. We're going to win. Martin Holland says 1-0. Nick 1-1. Paula Rose backs us to win 2-1. Noel Jordan says a draw 1-1. Martin Miller says we're going to lose 2-0. Harry says 2-1 and Rotherham are going on the playoff charge. Fair enough, Harry. If we win, I might get excited.
Back on that playoff bus.
Double Wembley party bus. Win, we could be within 12 points of the playoffs.
Yeah. Two or three quick wins, and we've got a chance to get quick wins as well. You never know. Especially if we win tomorrow and beat Wrexham away, then we can
get excited.
Till Saturday after.
Yeah. Yeah. When we play Exeter or a relegation fine, we lose them at home. Yeah, that's about it, right. Right, ref watch is Lewis Smith. He has only refereed us once. That was a 2-0 win at home to Coventry last season. So I think Matt Taylor's last win. It was a win before Coventry before we then lost to Wednesday. Yeah. So can't remember anything from that game. A long time ago.
I remember Coventry absolutely battered us. How we won that game? I remember it.
Yeah. Kayla thinks we're going to win 3-1 as well. Right, there we go. Anything else we need to mention, talk about? I think we've covered everything, but I stand to be corrected, as always.
Very good. No.
Excellent news. Right, the Scout Report, as I say, will be out tomorrow. That's with Steve from the Orient Outlook. That's interesting. I thought it was interesting anyway, so give that a watch as well. There will be an instant reaction, which will be out very late Tuesday night after the game, obviously more than likely Wednesday morning when most of you see that. And then we'll be back on Thursday as we preview Wrexham and Hollywood FC on Saturday. We'll get a scout report done for those guys as well. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you have subscribed and given the video a thumbs up as well, because that helps everything push up in terms of the algorithm and all that nonsense that they have. If you're listening on iTunes and Spotify, make sure you have given us a 5-star rating and follow or subscribe, depending on what your provider allows you to do. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Kev.
Welcome.
It's been fun. Enjoyed these talk about wins. We will see everybody next time. And as always, up the Millers.
No.
I think I always made the comment that once a Miller, always a Miller.
Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! Good Evans, he's done it again. Another promotion for the big man.
I've got 12 bottles of champagne in my office, and we're going to drink them all night.